for Chattanooga.
You know, what Loyola does to Chattanooga that they don't see often in the SoCon. Good pass, screen inside. Great inbounds play. Great inbounds.
Watson misses on the three. Casano goes inside, and it's Richards again.
Danny Earl visited Stanford, and if he'd have gone to Stanford, Brevin would have came to Manhattan. He went to Penn State, Danny. Brevin went to Stanford, and he only played 14 years in the NBA. Yep. I've always had a problem with that guy.
What did you say when you told him that? What did he say?
We laughed. Nice play. They've gotten that again.
Yep, inside Richards.
That wasn't the Jimmys and the Joes right there. I mean, that wasn't the X and Earls, the Jimmys and the Joes.
Casano. Costello's trying to force it into Richards, and he gathers it somehow. It's 5 points for him and 1 for 6 from the field.
That's okay. He's competing. And Rubin is a very active talker on the defensive end.
Gotta get on bottom. Here's Huff posting up. Here's Richards. 2-point game winner, 4 to go. Back into Richards, and it's blocked, and they're going to call a goaltend on Rubin.
Johnson gives you a different look at a point guard. He's more of a dribble drive guy as opposed to looking for the three-point shooting.
Bonham. Now Cusano thought about loading up there, feeds the post from Makai. Richards. And the lefty delivery falls. Costello comes up with a steal. He'll crank. Rattled out. Richards right there with the follow.
Able to kind of bully ball him down into the paint and get a basket. First 2 of the game for Isam Mustafa, who averages 14 a game. Wide open. And a dunk for Makai Richards. Which 10 turnovers a game. They have 9 in this game. When you've got a prolific scorer like Huff, who's clearly at the top of the scouting report, if you're Dan Earl, how do you get him going?
Well, part of it right now is
but gets it back.
And that's a lucky play there for Furman offensively. Anderson lost the ball midway in the air. They were able to continue to move the ball. With a nice little cut there for a finish.
First points of the day for Vanderwall. Gives Furman a lead of 2. Whelan inside, off the window and down for Makai.
Awesome, thank you, Hannah.
No Hannah Cohn, no Addie Porter, no Raven Thompson, but the Lady Mocs are back in. 14-2 run for Chattanooga, who trailed by a half dozen at halftime. Richards from Keith. Chip Johnson, a step back. Good box out by Richards against Holt.
Yes, you talk about some of the difference here in the second half. He's been rock solid in the middle for the Mocs.
Richards running the offense from the middle of the lane, spins by and scores.
Turnover again for Bonham. He just one-on-one was stripped right there.
No Frank Champion out with an injury. Chattanooga trailed by 6 at halftime. They've dominated the second half. Now they need to close. Honor Huff, the Bronx native, tips it to Richards.
Hit a 30-footer to beat back McCarthy's team.
They hit a memorable late one 2 years ago.
Yep.
3 years ago, David Jean-Baptiste to beat Furman at the buzzer.
Here from Spanish Fort, Alabama. 34% three-point shooter on the year. Makes it a 3-point game. Richards on the inside. And again, Dan Earl will cycle through his bigs as Mulholland checks out. Makai Richards back in. Here's Richards, gets around more of the basket. Both of these teams have done a pretty good job taking care of the ball. Here's Whelan with a turnaround. Richards. Well,
Mocs need him playing well down the stretch and as they head to Asheville for the Southern Conference Tournament. He was the preseason player of the year in the SoCon. Huff goes inside. He's got to move. He's got to screen for somebody or to just get himself open.
Richards goes left hand and puts it in. You got to play on that first night, then you got to win 4 games in 4 days.
Believe it or not, the 7th seed the last 2 years has played on Monday night. Yep. 2 years ago, Jake Stevens coming back to lead the Mocs. Boy, a terrific pass right there by Whelan. Richards.
79-52, inside of 2 to go. Richards bodies up against Kell. They're going to count.
Rebound Cusano.
Bugs back after injury, wastes no time getting into the flow of the game.
Yeah, Juve was right on him too. Juve has it top of the key. Passes into the paint to Richards. Richards on Hughes, left hand hook, all net.
A bit more with pressure.
Chance to get back-to-back scores for one of the few times in this opening half. There's a backdoor feed and a throw to
29% three-point shooter. Knocks down the 3. He's got 5. And the lead for Wofford back at 17.
You know, Silvas is not that hard to figure out. 70% of his shots this year are from long range.
Richards in the paint. The hook with the left hand. The glass. Filowich with the tip. Justin Bailey has his own rebound. Turns it over underneath, trying to get the outlet pass away.
Critical point in the game right here, Chris. How do you close out this first half?
Chance for Chattanooga to get this lead back to single digits. Huff. Richards. Great awareness by
Fox for an easy 2.
Kiesler is a really good defensive player, but that time he gambled and allowed Fox to sort of pin him on his backside, and a nice entry pass and finish on the inbound play.
Richards is checked in for the Mocs, along with Costal. And an inside basket for
9 threes, as Phil said so far this game. Mercer's 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. The Mocs 4 of 9.
That's not going to continue. You've got to create something. Anybody on them.
Tough shot for Robinson. He gets it to go. Ahmad Robinson with 8 points. Only 2 Bears have scored thus far. Cam Bryan has 9. Ahmad Robinson has 8. 7 different players have scored for the Mocs, including this man, Noah Nelson. Now to Makai Richards, the big fella again with the left hand.
He's big. And Bryson Tucker can score in a phone booth. This dude can score. Look how far Indiana's got Chattanooga operating their offense. It's good defensive pressure to start this sequence.
Richards trying to back down on Goody. The left hand hook.
There's no reason not to play this game.
Cusano with a rebound for Chattanooga as Mocs do some substituting during the timeout. Jack Costal gets away from the pressure in the backcourt, and here's Huff now.
Really watching Chattanooga's system, just spots a lot quicker, and they've done that so far in this one.
Never done with an NBA range three-pointer. Cusano again rebounds for UTC. 6-point lead for the Mocs after scoring the first 11 to open this game. Makai Richards, the hook.
And he's done it more times than not since arriving.
Never done again, goes off the backboard, this time a miss.
I mean, he's already had 8 games this year where he has shot better than 50%.
Richards again, right back in.
9 points. However, since those 3 wins, the Bulldogs are now averaging just 65 points a game.
Yeah, it's a mark, you know, they want to be around 75 for the year, feel comfortable about it. 65 just puts you in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that 109 a game was unsustainable. Your concern is that 65 points a game is sustainable.
Yeah, unless you're playing 2K, Todd, I don't think that's going to be a regular scoring average.
Inside for two more. Here and played very aggressively in the first couple of minutes. It seems like the tempo has ratcheted down somewhat. These two teams both have played Lipscomb this year, and Lipscomb has beaten them by a combined 46 points. Makai Richards.
And Coach Earl always goes deep into his bench.
We told you the Bulldogs started off the season in November with 9 games. They won't play 9 games in any month again for the rest of the year. 4 in the month of December, and fortunately for them, in March, 3 games before the tournament, and all 3 of those, unfortunately, 6 seconds on the shot clock here. Richards blocked, gets it back, puts it up and in.
Makai's got to be.
Haven't had a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes as Cuff comes up empty with the hook.
Well, this has been a game of streaks.
Chattanooga riding the hot hand of Huff right now. He'll kick it back out to Bonham. Richards working against Day inside. Whelan distributes to Bonham, and now Richards 6 to shoot. Bonham with 4. Throws it down inside. Backside layup good for Richards. Pizzotto looking for Turnbull down low, and his pass is stolen away. Tried to go across the defense, ill-advised. And now the Mocs can add to the run, and all of a sudden it's the Aces who haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Richards distributes. Now gets it back and lays it in.
Anderson with a kick out. Ognasovic off the mark. Off the feed, Richards. Makai Richards.
Carefully, or if you watch him carefully, he's playing with that face mask on that he earned a bit of a bruising play during the Tennessee State game that was here. And Tennessee State basically came in here and beat up on everybody they played. They didn't win a game, but they were very physical.
Richards again, turn around with a left hand.
Watching Dan Earl, the head coach for Chattanooga, he is processing this game as it happens. And just trying to figure out, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do?
Bryant shooting about 44% from the floor. From 3, Bonham, no. Rebound taken by Richards. And Costal off a screen. Whip pass to the corner. Kiesler inside. Richards, basket and a foul.
Numbers for Chattanooga, and it's starting to add up to another team win, right? For the first time this season, they looked more like a unit that understood the offense and the defense against Tennessee State, and they are building off of that win.
Richards lets it fly from 3. Makai. And here is Timberlake working against Cusano. Blocked from behind by Cusano, and Cusano takes it away. Chattanooga has numbers. Here's the lob. Richards.
Not to use a timeout. He's more than likely to make a call from the bench. He probably feels pretty good about the fact that he can hold on to those, that it's going to be the opposing coach that needs to burn a timeout. I would stick around. I'd wait for that, and when given every opportunity, remind the team we're looking for layups first.
Richards, like that?
Yeah, just
open. Bonham. Rebound by Cusano, and here comes Bonham again. Beautiful pass inside, Makai Richards. Jackson kicks to the corner. Weston. And again, Makai Richards clears it out underneath for Chattanooga. Another opportunity for UTC to reclaim the lead. Richards.
In. Oh, that's gonna make the head coach Dan Earl a little upset. Easy backdoor bucket. Just That's when there's a little mental lapse there. You get beat on the backside. You're not communicating.
13 for Moore. Makai. And he kicks it into the left corner. Open three. B.J. Ward around and outs. Huff the rebound. He's only 5'10", Honor Huff, but he can leap. Tell you more about that in a moment. As they work it down to the left post, Richards against T.J. Beal. Spin to the jump hook and dropped it into back buckets by Brendan Terry.
Great defensive play by Washington there, and again, getting another assist on the play.
40-38, suddenly it's a 2-point game to the reverse layup, and it's...
Mitchell Saxon has to go to the bench.
As Chattanooga will work it, it's Makai Richards working on the aforementioned Wessels. Melson bounced to Richards, up and drops it in over and Lewis. And they say that they all complement each other well with their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's why it's a good thing you're able to get all three of them minutes, especially Mikey Lewis in his first games as a Gale. Barrett, fifth on St. Mary's with just north of 6 to play here in the opening half. Gales up by 4. Huff, Bonham, who still has not scored yet tonight.
Good defense by Marshall Lonis on him right there.
Richards. Huff around the screen, gives it back to Richards down low, and was able to get past Wessler. Of the year ends that run for Chattanooga.
Or you could have Marshall Lonis take a nice drive to the bucket. That's another way to tie the game.
I'm sure St. Mary's will take that any day of the week. Here's Huff with a nice bounce pass to Makai Richards, who steps back on Wessels and drops.
As the kids say, that was a good look. He not only was the pass good, just to be able to find him was the. It was equally good.
13 and 10 tonight for Morauskas. He's got his second consecutive double-double as the Gales have tied the game up. Melson, pick and pop. Richards drops it in. And Justus Marshallonis is up to 21 points tonight.
And a really good pass by Harry Wessels, who had a mismatch, but saw that Marshallonis was all alone, and a good assist for Harry Wessels.
Richards through traffic, up with the left hand.
There are a lot of adjectives you could use for that bucket. The one I'll start with is clever. How's that?
Digging deep into the bag of tricks that time was the senior, as Richards.
I'm guessing both for defensive purposes because of the low or the small lineup by the Mocs, and for ball handling when the Gales get the ball back.
There's Makai Richards for 3, and he drained.
Deal with that big boy that's down in Memphis anymore, Zach Edey, and Purdue. Purdue's still going to be very good, but just different.
Richards with the basket.